Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Start checking things off your to-do list. I kid you not, when I started having a list of things that I needed to do every single day, it actually gave me a sense of purpose. Now, I can imagine you're a coach, consultant, or small to medium business. This is probably an everyday activity that you undertake within your business, and you might think, oh, why should I listen to this podcast today? But let me tell you something. There's magic in you actually crossing off items off of your to-do list. And I want you to maybe start off today by giving yourself a habit of actually lifting your own spirits daily by using a to-do list. Okay, so obviously a lot of us get overwhelmed with everything that we need to do within our business. I mean, at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, I'm coming in from a marketing point of view, but marketing is just one aspect of running a successful business. Okay, you go from hiring and managing new staff, you go to balance books, driving growth, and a whole lot more of other things in order for you to put out your consulting, your training, your information, your expertise, or to appear in person or in real life, as at a speaking gig. All right, so you could be asking yourself, okay, of all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, what do I measure in, or what do I maximize my time, in, just so that you can actually be productive and actually, be fruitful with the work that you're doing out there. Okay, so maybe you're hiring and managing new staff, you're balancing your own books, you're driving growth, and a whole lot more of other things that take your attention and everything else that you need to be doing out there. And it all seems like a constant balancing act where you are literally pulled in multiple different directions. And at the end of the day, I kid you not, you just want to be helping your client. That's the real goal of a coach and a consultant, right? You want to spend as much time as possible changing people's lives and solving their problems, and you don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate mundane tasks that always pop up on your to-do list, and you certainly don't want to maybe spend another minute on the phone having to beg people to hire you, or to beg people, that you want to hire just so that, you can move the needle in your business. And let me tell you something, man. Fortunately, you don't have to. If you understand the magical act of crossing things off of your list, all right? If you are like any coach or consultant that I've come across, you probably have 10, 15 clients that you are looking after. You probably have 2 to 3 VAs that do some of your stuff. I'm not necessarily, saying that's the norm or the standard, but I'm just saying half of the people that I work with are sort of working within that realm. And we all have to fulfill all these needs, client needs, team needs, and everything else that comes along with it, while we still have to put out content and be available for our clients for when they need us, in order for them to have a happy existence, or for them to actually, converge, get the results that they want. So at the end of the day, if you don't work off of a to-do list, or if you don't work off of a system or a process, you will definitely not be as productive as you would want to be. And I discovered how, if I write down a list of everything that I need to do and then start checking items off of my to-do list, it actually makes me feel better. And once I feel better, guess what? I'm more productive. I'm actually present for when my clients need me. I'm actually present for when my team needs me. And it actually, helps everybody, my family, my kids, everyone, gets the best version of me instead of a half-baked version of me who is not present or who is just up in their head trying to figure out, did I forget anything or did I not, return any call or things of that nature. So to give yourself a daily lift in spirits, so that you can be more, do more, and have more, and you can serve a lot more people and be of value to other people, as we all understand as internet explorers that we get paid in direct proportion to the value that we bring to the marketplace there. So if you want to give yourself a lift in daily spirits, you want to get into the habit of using a to-do list, but not any to-do list, you know what I mean? Because some people get really overwhelmed when it comes to really constructing something of note, or actually, following through with all the things that they're supposed to be doing there. Now, at the end of the day, you really want to, create a situation where you are enjoying your business. Like, for real, okay? At any given moment, you have to be creating a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And, I also do have work to do. I have clients to look after and things of that nature. And I even have an ongoing list of things that needs to get done and the days by which they're due. Because some clients have a deadline as to the emails that they need to send out, or the marketing campaigns that they need to put out there and things of that nature. And all of that falls on me as the strategies in my business. So when I get up in the morning, I can immediately see the tasks that I need to do on that particular day. And as I complete each item, you know what I do? I actually check a box next to that item. Half of the things that we do in our business are predicated on the fact that we have to be present every single moment, because when you're going through calls with clients, let's say you've got 3 or 4 sales calls on that particular day, the person that you're going to be meeting on call number 3 doesn't care if you woke up at 4 a.m. They want you present. They want you to understand who they are. They want you to understand their health, their wealth, or whatever relationship you're going to be fixing for them. So if you don't have a way or a system or a process that puts you in the right frame of mind and in the right energy to meet that person at that particular time, no matter where you've been, or no matter what you've been doing, let me tell you something, man, you lose them. All right, and what's the whole point in you generating leads that you can't even convert, just simply predicated on the fact that you're not organized? How many times have you showed up to somebody's calendar and they probably did not even have your booking in their calendar, or they actually did not even have any recollection of what it is that you guys are talking about, and then you spend the first 10 minutes just fumbling through while he's looking through their notes just so that they can get up to date with what's going on? It's a waste of everybody else's time. So when you work from a task list, or whichever way you work, but this is how I work. Like I said, when I get up in the morning, I can immediately see the tasks that I need to be doing. And I have bought, or I always buy, that date calendar that has the actual dates. And in each column of that calendar, I actually write all the non-negotiables, the things that I have to do every single day. And I'll tell you how you come to, finding out what your non-negotiables are. And as you go along, you actually then add onto your to-do list and make sure that you tick it off. Even if you don't complete some of the things that you have in your non-negotiables, but the amount of ticks or the amount of tallies that you would have done throughout the whole day, you definitely feel like you have accomplished something, all right? You know, as coaches and consultants, half of the work that we do is not tangible. You know, when a plumber goes to work, he carries his ladder, he carries, the tools of the trade, his spanners, and he carries, pipes and things of that nature. And people know that this is a man who's going to work. But when you're going to work, what do you carry? Maybe a pen and a laptop. And all that stuff is in the cloud somewhere. And if it's like Melbourne, where, it's usually overcast and it's floods everywhere. You don't even know what cloud contains your data. So if you don't have a to-do list or something that reminds you of the amount of work that you're putting into the cloud, you, my friend, will actually feel like you are an imposter or you're not doing anything. And you know what that does? It affects your self-esteem. It affects how much you charge people, because if you can't see the value that you're putting out there, you feel like if you charge somebody a lot of money, you're stealing from them. So once you start really writing down everything that you're supposed to be doing every single day and checking it out, not only does it actually help you keep yourself organized, but it actually strokes your own self-esteem. Because if you see yourself being productive, it certainly adds to a good measure of self-esteem in your daily psychological diet. All right. Yes, we supposed to be eating well and exercising and things of that nature, but what are we also telling ourselves about the work that we're producing? What are we telling ourselves and validating our own outputs? All right. And note that every one of these self-esteem moments are incremental, okay? The more you accomplish, the more your self-esteem actually grows. And once you know that you're capable of doing all these things, you actually can stand up against anything that comes your way. It's just psychological warfare, that you're putting yourself in a position to actually win, setting yourself up for success. So like I said, as I tick off each item, my self-esteem grows. And as each item is completed, I actually check the next, the box next to it. And as the day is progressing, the more items start getting checked off, the more I actually start feeling like I'm doing something. I'm actually contributing, and I'm actually creating for and relating to my audience. And at the end of the day, I can look at my list or look at the page for that particular day, all the items with checklist, or check marks against them. I actually feel good about it. When I started, I was actually reading my goals book yesterday, and I noticed that I was, at that time, I was only reading for 1 hour a day. And now I read for 4 or 5 hours. You know why? Because I created that, process within my day. And I'm not sitting here, for a whole 5 hours. No, I read in 30-minute increments. You should look up what's called the Pomodoro method. Maybe I should do an episode around that another day to come, where I sit down for 30 minutes and then, reward myself for 5 minutes. Maybe I go out, see what my kids are doing, just have a chat with my wife and things of that nature. Yes, I'm working from home and everything else, but work is work and play is play. So as the day progresses, I'm checking off a lot more things. Before, 2 years ago, all right, I was checking off maybe 2 hours a day reading. Now I'm checking off 5 hours a day reading. I'm actually noticing my self-growth just by doing this whole, checking off items off of, a to-do list. Now, sometimes you might be growing and you can't even see that actual incremental growth. You won't even be there to actually stroke your own self-esteem or to see the value that you have actually injected in yourself, simply because you are not measuring these things. So it's not necessarily about you just ticking it off just so that you know you have done. You are mentally checking off certain things so that your brain doesn't focus on it. Every time you put something on a to-do list, you're telling your brain to get answers, to get solutions, and to actually get a system and a process for you to tackle that, situation. And as you go about the day, have you ever noticed you start getting what we call intuition, where you literally just get an answer of something that you wrote about in the morning? So you are literally getting your mind to work without you being fully involved in it. There's a whole lot of benefits that come down with you actually writing down and emotionally involving your brain and your hands to create what you want to create out of yourself. Yes, of course, I feel good. Because I can see what I've done throughout the whole day, and I can see that I've actually had a productive day, even though I've got nothing to show for it. I can see that I've actually made progress and I'm actually moving forward. And if there's things that have been left off from yesterday, I take them on to the next day, tomorrow. So buy yourself an A4 diary that just sits next to you on your desk. All right. And you keep writing all the things that you're supposed to be doing. And this is how you actually find how you get all the non-negotiables, done every single day of your business. Put yourself in, on notice, and then just start checking what it is that you're doing consistently and for how long, and then take a note of that particular activity. And if it is something that occurs throughout the whole week, then it means it's something that you have to do every single day. Some things you have to do only once, and some things you have to do maybe every quarter, and things of that nature. You know your business a lot more than anybody else, so you want to be on the lookout of all the things that you're supposed to be doing. You want to be on the lookout for all the things that are non-negotiable within your business and make them a permanent feature within your to-do list. All right? You know what? Funny thing is, I used to simply delete items off my list as I progressed throughout the day. But that didn't make me feel as good, because at the end of the day, I would no longer see that full list of what I had actually done. So you need to have a visual representation of the actual work that you're doing. When a farmer is farming, he can look at the hectares of land that he has plowed. When a plumber is, paving or whatever it is that they're doing, or tiling a house, they can literally go to that house and take a photo of that. You as a coach, you can't take a photo of somebody's health. You can't take a photo or a snapshot of somebody's wealth. You can't take a snapshot of having changed somebody's relationship. So you need to have some sort of a way of taking note of what it is that you're doing, just so that you are having that self-esteem that helps you grow your business. So like I said, I used to delete items. I don't do that anymore. Now I use a system where I actually just check in the box or check in the line in the diary. I mean, I still delete items at the end of the day, but I look at it as a day's list, with all the check marks before I actually do that. All right? Maybe you want to use an electronic, list or things of that nature. Make it into such a way that you physically have to be involved in writing down, the thing that you want to do. Buy yourself an A4 diary for that particular year. And on that particular day, I've kept my diaries ever since 2017. And guess what? Each and every one of them, if I'm maybe trying to look for inspiration or things like that, I just go through that diary and I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is like a lot of work that I've been doing with all the, lists that I have ticked off. I mean, this is one of those weird mind games that one has to play with oneself, because no one else is going to come and knock on your house's door and be like, wow, that's a lot of work that you're putting in there. And if you don't see the work, you're not going to be there to stand up for your own value when people are trying to dispute it out there in the marketplace. I mean, every single day we're out there. Maybe you're cold calling clients and having them hang up in your face, or you're sending out hundreds of emails without maybe getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. Or maybe you're wasting thousands and thousands of dollars on ad spend without even generating any qualified leads. And maybe sometimes it just really starts feeling like nobody wants to buy what you're selling. All this can put a damper on your own self-esteem, especially if you're relying on your business to put food on your table. And this puts an enormous strain on your emotions. And if you don't have, that confidence within yourself, guess what? Your optimism dwindles. So having a list that you check out every time actually instills optimism. All right, you start changing from thinking, I want to, or I did. To something like, you know what? This is what I've done. This is what I do, and you make it valid into your own self that this is who I am. And guess what? When you find yourself not doing anything, or just twiddling your thumbs, or trying to find stuff just to, entertain you on the internet, you still have a to-do list that you can look at and say, hey, wait a minute, it's not yet that time to play. So when you move your mind from, I wish I could, or I want to I did, I have done, this is who I am, you are definitely going to be confident more and more. Because people like these, people like us do things like this. And it's such a great leap. And all of a sudden, you've accomplished things that maybe you were postponing and you were procrastinating about. And you know what that does? You probably didn't even know how you could do it, or you didn't even know you could actually outsource and get somebody who can do it cheaper, better, faster for you. And until you write stuff down, until you put it down, then it's not just going to be a thought in your head that you can just simply dismiss. No, you have to check it off. So you now have this sense of mastery that actually helps you do a lot more things, and it helps you become a little bit more of an optimist, because your thinking changes and you see yourself as a doer. Now you are confident that no matter what comes your way, you'll be able to handle it. And how empowering is that? Because if you can do one thing, then for sure you can do the next thing on your list. And this knowledge actually puts you in a frame of mind that you, my friend, are amongst one of the, the baddest people in your industry. And if that empowers you, you can stand up in front of an audience. You no longer have imposter syndrome. You know why? Because you can back it up with action. And if not that, it certainly brightens your day with just the glow of you knowing that you've actually accomplished something. It's a personal victory. Yes, it's not in the public domain, but to you, you know who you are, and you can never lie to the person who's staring back at you in the mirror. And actually just really, gives you that whole I did it, I can do it momentum, which once you know you can, then nothing can stop you. Seriously. If you really enjoyed what I said in the last, say, 7 minutes, just consider clapping once. Just clap your hands twice, even better, 50 times, so that you can really, really get this to sink into your head. Yes, some people might be like, so do I need a software or system? Like I've told you, I use a diary, Or maybe you might be thinking, what program or service do I use for maybe a to-do list? I've tried a lot of things, and a few which you actually have to pay for. But let me tell you something. You can use the task function in your Google Calendar. I just have the calendar open and I see, the various appointments that I have for the week. And at the same time, I can also see the tasks that I need to do for that day. If you're not doing this already, just try it. It will actually make you feel good, because the whole point of you working for yourself is to do stuff that makes you feel good in order for you to enjoy your life. And the more you enjoy your life, the more productive you become. Seriously, why would you be doing stuff that you're not enjoying? So you want to maybe if you want to really reframe the whole to-do stuff, maybe, you've already given it a bad connotation. I think it was Steve Maraboli who mentioned that you should change your to-do list into an opportunities list. Guess what? You own a business. You get to, have an understanding of that. Even if you have to clean your house and clean the bathrooms and things of that, you get to clean your house. You get to, write a blog. You get to speak on a podcast. You know why? Other people don't have that opportunity. So it is a gift. It's an opportunity for you to actually express yourself. It's an opportunity for you to do and have a happier existence in a way that is of your own terms. You get to be doing what you're doing. Other people don't have a roof on their shoulder, over their heads. Other people don't even have a shoulder to cry on. You get to. Think about it in that way. So reframe your to-do list and actually stop being entitled and start calling it an opportunities list. And then each day becomes a treasure chest that is filled with maybe limitless opportunities that you get to tackle. And start taking joy in the things that you get to check off your own to-do list. It is a shared human experience for us to want to have stuff done. But guess what? With the advent of new phones and smartphones and everything else on our fingertips, we now have instant gratification. So when we look at a task and we think, I'm not going to be able to finish it off in maybe 2 to 3 minutes or 2 to 3 seconds, then we put it in the too hard, hard to do basket. But guess what? Half of the time, some of us don't have teams or people that can pick up after us. Yes, kids have their parents who pick up after them. Who do you have? If you don't do it, is somebody going to come and knock on your house's door or on your office door and say, hey, I'll do all the rest of the work for you? So you need to figure out how you can get stuff done, even from the mundane routine things that actually sustain us. Some people are so lazy, they can't even cook their own meals. And there's always like elaborate, maybe work-related stuff that we need to do, even reading or any self-improvement activities that we need to undertake. Listen, man, just look at what it is that you need to be doing. What do you need to be, where do you need to be at any given moment? And use that task list or your opportunities list to guide you throughout the whole day. Look at this. I schedule this podcast every single day at 12 p.m. No matter what, nobody can call me unless they don't know me and then they just a chancer. Nobody can call me and I don't respond to any emails during this time. And if I don't respond to the calling of doing the podcast, guess what? I've got a whole hour of me doing jack. Now, can you imagine what I'm doing with myself there? I'm just forced to sit down on this mic and start, talking up until I get some rhythm of what I want to talk about. I mean, there's been studies that show that we perform better when we write down what we need to do. Did you not have a look at that? So the more you start writing stuff down and the more you actually have the duty upon yourself to actually complete those tasks. And besides just getting the job done, to-do lists actually will positively impact your life in a whole lot of other ways that I've been talking about in the podcast today. So don't just look at it as a list of things you got to do. Look at it as an opportunity that has been presented to you, and it's actually a productivity enhancing and personal change tool that you can actually look at. So stop looking at your to-do list as just so many things that you got to do. But once you start writing things down, look at this. It frees your mind. Do you know when you write stuff down, you're actually taking it out of your mind and putting it on paper. That way, that thing is no longer occupying your mind and not paying rent. Why would you have so many thoughts and things like that, living in your brain rent-free? Put it down on paper and let it manifest itself or become reality by, your brain acting on it. Because once you give your brain a task to do, let me tell you something, it will find the people, the opportunities, the systems, the processes to get that stuff done. That's how brains work. So why not use that to your advantage? So when you free your mind, this is not a small thing. Because running around with a busy mind and teeming with creative ideas, tasks, chores, goals, ambitions, dreams, stuff, it's yuck. You become irrelevant to a lot of people. But if you make a list, it actually frees your mind to pursue your dreams. And better yet, why not make a list of your actual dreams so that you can actually have a shopping list of the things that you want happening in your life? And once you put stuff down, it allows you to track what has been done and what hasn't been done. And you no longer have all that internal chaos that you can't accommodate other people. Because how can you look after other people when your house is not in order? So that's the reason why we can't take on new clients. We can't take on new jobs. We can't create relationships with our team members. And we always have to be looking for new people instead of growing with the people that we have. You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands full. Organize yourself by having a to-do list. Because guess what? If you're swamped by all the things that need to be done, your thoughts just seem to be random and they're all tangled up. How can you have a conversation with anyone with your mind tangled up? And once you start having a to-do list on just the small things in your day-to-day life, can you imagine having a to-do list on your business, having a to-do list on your marketing, having a to-do list on your target market, on your message, and all the things, the media that you're going to be using, a to-do list on creating a funnel, that needs to capture those leads into paying customers, creating a to-do list to actually nurture those customers into people that pay, stay, and refer. You, my friend, will be in line to create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So like I said, when I get up in the morning, I immediately write down everything that I need to do for that day, whether it's my family, whether it's my business, for my team, just about everything that I can remember, so that throughout the day I can just keep checking off those things and feeling good about myself as I go along, because that's a sign of me being productive. That's a sign of me actually getting stuff done. So, I mean, as a coach or consultant, you might think, I'm good at what I'm doing. Guess what? I want you to put that to a test. Schedule a call with me. Let me see what your to-do list looks like. What are you actually doing? Are you developing a strategic plan that actually looks at your ideal client clarity? Do you actually have strategic messaging in your marketing? Do you have the best consulting or coaching offers out there? Have you got the best fees that you can charge possibly, to present a really fair service out there? Do you have the best pricing? Have you got the best business model? Guess what? I know you've got none of those answers ready. So why don't you come around so I can help you set up your to-do list and your marketing engine, and so that you can create a lead generation system that actually constantly helps you attract clients. And when you now have a to-do list, you can now schedule times that you can speak to clients, and you can actually, present everybody in your life the best version of yourself at any given day. Now, wouldn't that be nice? I don't know what you're going to do with that information, but I just thought I would come in and help you understand that when you start checking off, things off of your to-do list, it actually makes you feel better. And let me tell you something, you can't do well if you don't feel well. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au